I want to talk to you about a project that I've been spending a lot of time on. Hi, I'm Cosmo, and welcome to Cosmonauticraft. If you weren't around for this pack's launch last year, welcome. Cosmonauticraft launched exactly a year ago today, and it is a passion project of mine that I've spent the last year working on. Basically, the goal of this pack is to be messy and loot goblin-y and to have fun with your friends. This pack has a bunch of different mods in it that will suit all different kinds of players, and let's get into the intricacies. So this is the main menu that I spent quite a bit of time on, and fun fact, if you're new to the channel, I made this font, the font that I use for my thumbnails, my videos, my subtitles, everything. I made it, handmade it in Procreate like 4 years ago, I think now, might be a little more, a little less. And I figured best use it here because this is what the Cosmonauticraft menu used to look like, and I think we can all agree this is a massive improvement. And then I also included all of these Polaroids, which just cycle through screenshots of my friends and I from various packs. It's a really cute thing, and actually an idea I got from my friends Ozzy and Fang, who you may know as Ozymandias and Sir Vanguard. Ozzy is one of the developers behind Rebirth of the Night, as well as Compression, and Fang is the dev behind Fang's Textiles and Trinkets, which is in Cosmonauticraft, funnily enough, wink wink. They actually made this menu for a server in a different mod pack, and it inspired me with this menu. So one thing that I find more and more important in mod packs nowadays is keeping a clear visual identity. This is part of the reason why I added a couple points to Big Chad Guys Plus, even though I didn't really care for the pack in general. I thought the visual identity was really impressive, and I liked the overhaul a lot. So one of the things I set out to do over the last year is make my own resource pack that overhauls the Minecraft GUIs, because I love pink. It's no secret that I love pink, and I love the cherry wood textures and all of that. Green is my favorite color, but pink is up there as one of my favorites too. And I kind of just had an idea one day, and I started replacing all of the GUIs with quartz and cherry wood and a bunch of different textures. I decided to include that in Cosmonauticraft. So that meant retexturing a bunch of GUIs that I didn't already have in the resource pack, because I made the resource pack initially for just me to use for a bunch of different packs. So while I did have a lot of mod integrations, I didn't have any blue skies or Aether integrations, and both of those mods are in Cosmonauticraft. So I had to do partial integration. I have to finish it, but I did enough so that you won't notice it off the bat that it's not done. And then these are just like snippets of what the other menus look like. I love the way that this texture pack turned out. It's my pride and joy, and it's actually been hidden gemmed on CurseForge. I got hidden gemmed, which is so funny because I feel like I'm always the one playing the hidden gems and contributing to people getting hidden gemmed. I'm never the one getting hidden gemmed. It's because I'm not that serious of a person, okay? Oh, by the way, guys, we're gonna be using these clips for the YouTube video that's gonna come out today about this pack that's gonna be so serious, and I just didn't film any gameplay, so that's what we're doing right now too. So guys, say hi YouTube. You guys will be all featured because you're all so cool and wonderful and awesome. Bye, White. Yeah, everyone say hi. I'll keep this in the video. This is the official gameplay test of Cosmonauticraft, and it is super serious. Super duper serious. I need a backpack. So not only did I make that resource pack, but I also made a resource pack specifically for Cosmonauticraft, and that is Epic Freaking Textures. I know, W name, right? This is actually meant to go along with Epic Freaking Sounds, but Epic Freaking Sounds is not, it hasn't been verified by CurseForge yet, so it can't be in the launch, and I'm actually super sad about it. But that is going to be a sound resource pack that replaces all the mob sounds. First launch is going to be with just the cat sounds being replaced, courtesy of my friend Providence Damon, who is also a dev on Rebirth of the Night. That'll be in one of the future updates of Cosmonauticraft. But the texture pack that I made for it just replaces a couple of things. It's just a little bit goofy in some areas, and it's making some fun references, like the Totem of Undying is my icon that I use for stream and stuff like that. Now, one thing I was really excited to try tackling was making my own like guidebook, because I've never actually made a guidebook for a pack or in general, I guess. And I know that a lot of people use Patchouli to make their own guides. So I wanted to take a crack at it because it's, you know, powered by JSON files, which I hadn't worked with in a long time, you know, at the time when I started working on it. I am very familiar with JSON syntax because of data packs and stuff like that, and the whole origins craze and all of that. So I followed a tutorial for Patchouli and made my own guidebook, and it took me a bit of time because I had some issues, but it got going. I I want to figure out how to change the main texture on it. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm very proud that I was able to get a custom item into my pack. I feel like that's a pretty solid start from someone that hasn't actually made their own mod yet, although I do have a modding environment set up, so keep an eye out for that. So after having all of that set up, one thing I also wanted to tackle was a quest book. So FTB quests is a thing, and I was a bit intimidated by actually getting started with it, but I realized that it's actually way simpler than I thought. You can add quests so easily, and I wrote up some stuff, and I'm not going to show you guys these other quests. You'll just have to explore them for yourself, but I hope you enjoy. Now I want to talk a little bit about the actual development process that happened behind the scenes, because I had to obviously, you know, write the guidebook and like do all the scripting and stuff to get it in, but also I wanted to do custom ponders. I actually wound up abandoning that idea because I wanted to do it, but I realized I really wouldn't have time to if I wanted to launch Cosmonauticraft today. I was going to fall behind on launch, and that was just not going to be great. So I dropped the idea, and we'll pick it up for next update, or maybe in a future update down the line. But one thing that my friend Miyagi is doing with her pack compression is a lot of custom ponders for Botania and redstone stuff and a bunch of stuff, and I think that's super cool. I would just love to do my own custom ponders for redstone and some fun contraptions. I feel like it could be really interesting, but that's a definitely down the line thing. So one thing that I want to talk about is troubleshooting when it comes to mod packs, because I had to do a lot of it here. One thing I try to do every time I update Cosmonauticraft is bring all of the mods up to date, which, you know, involves updating all the mods, which is not fun because everything usually breaks. So I updated all the mods and I launched, and lo and behold, it didn't crash, which is a new one. Thankfully, it didn't crash, but you know, that's a good sign. So then I loaded into a world, and the first thing I noticed was that my world loading time was quite a bit long. So I was a little worried about that. I noted that down, that I wanted to debug and figure out what was going on there. But I also, when I loaded into the world, I noticed I was having terrible frame drops. Every time chunks loaded in, my frame rate was cut in half. I don't mean like simple frame drops. I mean literally cut in half, going down from 120 to 60 frames, going down from 300 frames to 150 frames, sometimes even lower than that. It was crazy, and it was just when I was rendering in chunks. So the first thing I did was disable shaders. That didn't fix the problem. So next thing I did was take out a bunch of structure mods, because frankly, Cosmonauticraft has structure spam because I'm a loot goblin, so I wanted a lot of structures to raid. That didn't work either. I was kind of thankful that that didn't work, because that meant it wasn't one of my structure mods causing the issues. Then I booted the pack. I enabled something with Modern Fix that allows you to debug. I couldn't really find anything that gave me a lead here. So what I did, instead of like just trying to read through the logs again, was I disabled TerraLith and TerraBlender and Debather and any mods that were changing my world generation, because that's my next thought. If my world gen is lagging, I'm gonna think it's something to do with my world generation. So I disabled those, and it still didn't fix my problem, but it did stop log spam, which meant my logs were a lot more useful. And thanks to that, I realized the issue was actually V-, which I have since learned is notorious for causing problems within packs. The bad thing about it being notorious is that it is a dependency for Botania. Whew. So I just backported the updates that I had to the one that was working in Cosmonauticraft in one of the previous releases that wasn't having the issue, and yeah, that fixed all my problems. So I re-added all the mods I wanted before, and that also fixed my world generation taking a long time. So 2 birds with 1 stone. But we weren't done yet, because then I was going to set up the starter gear, and I wanted some dyed leather armor for the starter gear, and the recipe was missing. It wasn't just missing in JEI because it never shows up in JEI, that's normal. I literally could not dye leather. Like, putting the dye in with the leather in the crafting table did not work, and I later learned that is also something that V- can cause. So I changed the version that I had in Cosmonauticraft again, and that fixed my problem. And now we are on current release of Cosmonauticraft, and that brought us to the release of the pack today, and it performs way better than it did before. I overhauled so much stuff with it and did a bit of customization here that I'm pretty proud of. All of that being said, I hope that if you have the chance to give it a try, that you enjoy it. And I'm actually going to be releasing another like kind of hotfix thing, because there were a couple mods that I really wanted added into Cosmonauticraft when I was playing it on stream today. I was a bit annoyed that I didn't have that one that lets you put the lanterns on your belt slot, and also the corpse cosmetic armor compat. I added that too to my dev client, and I'm probably going to push that tonight, and hopefully that's out before this video goes up, but we'll see. The pack also has a bunch of dimensions, a bunch of magic, a bunch of just everything that you could think of with. Thank you so much to everybody for your support, and thank you for watching if you made it all the way to the end. If you made it all the way to the end, then I'm going to tell you this is an April Fool's joke and this pack sucks intentionally. If you like playing it, that's fine, but I made it really bad on purpose. Just a heads up, like, you're still able to go play it, go screw with it if you want. There's a lot of custom stuff in there that I did work hard on. That's the whole point of this video. Thank you for watching if you made it all the way to the end, and thank you to everybody who has been showing me so much support. It really does mean the world to me. I am really trying to get my Liminal Industries review out soon, but I am in chapter 4, and this pack, you know, it being my first time properly tackling a tech pack is a bit difficult for me. I actually showed it off on stream today. I was pretty proud of all of the automation I had managed to do. Other than that, we should be seeing more content from me soon. I've just had so many projects and so many packs to tackle and a lot going on in my personal life too. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy the next. YouTube thinks that you'll like this one that's popping up on screen. Special thanks to everybody that's on screen now. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!